Love podcasts. Wow.
We're going again.
I don't think we are going against it. I think we're starting like that. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Ava Santina.
Interrupted the catchphrase with a big on her vape.
Been chasing clouds.
I don't even like it. It's
ripping
just,
that sweet
it's
cotton.
medicinal.
We're bringing back Vape Nash.
It's medicinal.
It never went away. It never went away. What flavour?
Oh, it's menthol. It's horrible.
Yeah, not great.
But I don't think it's a real one.
Oh, you think it's a fake?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so, because I went to go and buy one at this newsagent.
It was struggling with the microphone now.
And thank you. He's like 1 for £8 from a particular pile, or 3 for £10 from a different pile. And I was obviously like, well, 3 for 10, I don't care if they're legit.
The busted pile.
And then when I got them, so like when you get a disposable vape, yeah, you open, there's like a wrapper situation. There was no wrapper.
Oh.
Yeah.
So maybe someone's puffed on these before.
I've had that before where it, for all intents, it appears to be a legitimate vape, but then if you look closely, you realise that like the E and the H in cherry are the wrong way around. Or, you know...
Kerry.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a Kerry Vipper.
Yeah.
Just sucking on some AA batteries.
Yeah. How are our weekends? Congratulations, Ed, on running your half.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I ran a half marathon and drank 12 beers, so I'm feeling loopy today.
12?
Yeah, or
Legend.
about that.
12? After the marathon, did you
Yeah.
eat anything?
Yes, lots of pizza. I feel awful.
Good man.
I woke up this morning, I was like, I feel clinically exhausted.
Really?
Yeah, I'm so tired. So I will not be... I'm saying it now. I'm prefacing everything I say. I don't stand by it. But this brain is not firing on all cylinders. Take everything I say with a pinch of salt, please.
Do not hold me to... Well, do you think you're held to a standard anyway? Do you think you're probably held to quite an exacting standard?
I think I'm
now?
held to a standard that my level of punditry does not have merit, to be honest.
Would you say that you're held to as high of a standard as the chief football pundit on politics?
I'd say no, actually I haven't, to be fair. I think I get more slack than Lineker, to be fair.
Do you know what's mad? It's
He's
like
gone, isn't it?
whenever we want a proper political opinion, we always go to Henry Hill of Football Joe.
He's good.
NATO hawk, Henry Hill.
Yeah.
Not that he wouldn't be capable, but what I'm saying is it's not his role, is it?
No.
Get back in your box. Look, so Gary Lineker has apparently quit Match of the Day over that rat emoji thing.
It is my right to post rats. Is that why he quit?
He was going anyway.
Yeah, but apparently he's not going to do the final Match of the Day next week. Apparently he's gone.
Gosh.
He's not even going to do next week.
Apparently not.
Do you know what? I did actually think last week the light looked like it had gone out of his eyes.
26 years, 26 long, hard years at the BBC coalface, and you post one rat emoji. One rat emoji and you're done for. Is that what a lifetime of service gets you?
I know.
Kim Davey. Is that what it gets you? I'm role playing. I'm being.
Imagine
Gary
how
Lineker
quick
here.
they could have got rid of Jimmy Savile.
It is a bit of an affront considering the corporation's relationship with actual paedophiles. And you're out after one social media post.
I don't think being a paedophile or like an alleged anti-Semite are synonymous. Like I don't think that they're interchangeable.
That's my point.
Yeah, I think the
Oh.
same.
Yeah.
Vorda said the same when we did it for Unfiltered. She was saying like, I was talking about the Tories and how bad they were and how we had to get them out, and I got sacked. But Hugh Edwards was still working at the BBC at that time.
Yeah.
And
But to be fair, you could argue he was being impartial there. He fancied everyone.
fucking hell. Good morning. Keeping up there. You keeping pace.
Am I asleep?
Can I give my general opinion that I know people are going to be annoyed about?
That's why you're here.
Yeah. Wind her up. Let's go.
I think that it says something about sort of the British psyche, or like our general sycophancy, that like we're looking to like the football man as like the lead on Gaza, like or as the pariah of what is and is not a certain trope. I just think the whole thing is ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree, because I agree and I agree and I don't. First of all, he has by dint of being one of sort of the greatest English footballers in our history, he has a huge platform, right? And so his opinions on things, for better or for worse, are relevant because of his fame. But I totally agree with the principle of, maybe you shouldn't be getting your opinions about the refugee crisis and whether or not the language of the Conservative government echoes that of 1930s Germany from the man who used to play up front for England. You can formulate your own opinions about these things without his input. But primarily for him, and no disrespect to him, I just sort of see that posting. It's just quite boomer coded, I think. And for better, it's like we all have older relatives who also have Instagram accounts who post things, and you look at it and go, either like that I think that's offensive. I think that's actually bordering into like racist or discriminatory or prejudicial or whatever. And you go, that meme you put or whatever that contained the rat emoji when it was talking about Jews. Like maybe I wouldn't have posted that, Dave. Like, I didn't mean to use your dad's name. I wasn't talking about him directly there. But, Nick, my Nick, don't post that. That's probably quite bad. And go, oh my God, I didn't even notice. But it's a problem for him because he has nearly 9 million followers on Twitter, right?
But yes, I just think I was reading Reddit this morning. Because that's obviously where I...
Great way to start the day.
Yeah. Good morning, Vietnam. Anyway.
Am I the asshole?
Yeah. Well, and then I went on to Mumsnet to just correct myself.
Yeah, of course, correct.
Jesus.
But I was on Reddit and I was like, isn't this sort of the state that we've got ourselves into with social media where... Do you remember during the Black Lives Matter movement, you had people who were posting like the black square and stuff like that?
You're welcome.
And people were, yeah, exactly. People were like, you're welcome.
We did it.
I've got people on Instagram who on their close friend story every day will be like, why is no one talking about this? It's like, you're posting this on your close friend story.
Yeah.
And, you could go to a demo if you cared so much, or you could go and volunteer somewhere, or, you could do something worthwhile. I was reading on Reddit this morning, people were arguing that Gary Lineker is the only person on the BBC who's ever made a proper point about Gaza. And I genuinely thought I was going to smash my face into a wall. It's like, that is your choice to only engage with Gary Lineker from the BBC rather than actually watch the breadth of programming. You've just had a documentary come out from Louis Theroux. I could name you a whole swathe of pundits who've appeared on Politics Live for the past couple of years who've talked in depth about the conflict. I'll just point you towards Taj Ali. I think that he has been he has been thorough, investigative. He has been informative. It's not my fault if you only follow Gary Lineker.
Yeah.
You're right.
That's how you get your news. It's from Instagram stories.
And you're right. And that doesn't even touch on the actual sort of news gathering, right? That BBC News. The World Service is sort of doing has one of the few places that had correspondent in Gaza, and Bowen and everybody else that reports on the region, and it's sort of it's people have this self-selecting. It's confirmation about itself because I saw Gary Lineker talking about it. And by the way, I don't think his opinions really. I'm thinking about the Amal Rajan interview. I don't think it was that controversial. The stuff he was saying was like, I've been watching what's happening, and I just don't think that tens of thousands of children should be killed in this way. I don't have anything. I'm not saying
that's
that.
That's the sort of nuanced opinion that only someone on Match of the Day can make. It's just.
Yeah, it reminds me of like during the election when people were like, wow, they're not reaching young people with their manifestos, and like they do box with young people being like, none of these parties are reaching out to me. I don't know who to vote for. And it's like, well, they do have websites. Like if you actually cared, you could do the easiest thing in the world and seek out more information about this. Like your point of being like, I wonder, instead of being like, I have not received any content from the BBC about Gaza, therefore it doesn't exist. Instead of going like, I wonder what's on iPlayer. Like if you actually thought about it, if you did the second step, which is ever so slightly harder, instead of just like going to like brain rot TikTok again.
Well, it's like Schrodinger's Gaza, isn't it? I suppose.
There's also as well, I think.
Has anyone covered it? If I don't look, I'll never know.
No.
Sickening silence from the BBC.
Do you know the other thing? The other thing that sort of really does my head in about stuff like this is like, how do you think you know anything? How do you think you know anything?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, a lot of this is like citizen journalism because journalists have not been allowed to go into Gaza, right? So a lot of this is on the ground. And you know who is reporting a lot of that on the ground footage? I'm going to sit down. The BBC.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
Yeah, they're doing the journalism.
Is there a conversation to be had about, are we going to have to start being a lot more charitable to people on social media as time goes on? Because there is, anyone who uses social media, perhaps to the degree that we do, we have literally all done something by accident. I mean, like, you have, like, your finger has slipped, or you have shared something unthinkingly. Like, Gary Lineker saw that.
I don't think his finger slipped.
I don't think his finger slipped, but as in Ollie's point about a boomer relative not knowing the full context of a post, just seeing something like, oh yeah, pro-Palestine, sharing it, not thinking about the wider context. Are we going to have to start being more charitable to people on social media with for instinctive posting, or just
do you know what
being able to explain stuff?
Do you know what it sometimes feels like? Did you ever see that tweet that was like, on Halloween, I write problematic under people's Halloween costumes. And then when they reply with question marks, they say, if you don't know, it's not my job to teach you. Sometimes I do feel a little bit like that, because I think that there are very obvious tropes, right? That people are aware of and people understand. I don't think everyone is born being the pariah of all tropes. Do you know what I mean? Can I be honest? I probably flicked past that rat thing. I probably didn't even look at it. I do follow him. I probably just scrolled right past it. I actually don't think I would have known that was a trope.
Yeah, I think, the kind of, the sort of like rat imagery, infestation.
Is that what it is?
Well, it has, in Nazi propaganda, it's like, it's a thing there. And do you remember there was that, the octopus thing that happened on University Challenge, and there's Nazi propaganda of like the sort of the tentacles of the international Jewry and sort of infesting Germany and stuff like that. But
Oh yes, I do remember that.
Yeah. So, but equally,
I actually also remember working for a radio presenter, by the way, who claimed that he did know about that on air and how disgusting it was, but actually had spent the morning Googling what did it mean. So, anyway, carry on.
Yeah. But to Ed's point, I think it's a really important one, which is I think there was a heightened moment, I would say, sort of early 2010 through 2016, maybe just like the teens in general, where someone digging up the old tweets, an old Facebook photo of someone in a controversial fancy dress costume that in, I don't know, the mid-noughties wouldn't have no one batted an eyelid at, but with modern sensibilities, people found offensive. I do think there's a shift happening around this stuff now, and particularly with the younger generation who have grown up on social media, absolutely petrified of the risk of either cancellation or something embarrassing going viral. Right? Whether it's, I interviewed Laura Bates at the end of last week, and she was talking about some of these girls and young girls in schools who, deep fake pornography is being produced of them, where a boy takes their photo and then, using one of these AI apps, superimposes it into a porn video and travels around the school. Said woman has done absolutely nothing wrong. All of the kind of shame and stigma and all of that she feels by dint of just existing, right? By dint of a photo of her being available for somebody else to make that out of. And imagine how and Laura spoke very compellingly about how terrifying and how brutal and how traumatic that is. And if your baseline existence is like, anything on the internet could ruin my life at any given moment, if someone makes a innocuous, unintentional, or I just think our tolerance for people making mistakes, and I'm not saying that the deep fake porn that is not a mistake.
Yeah, and Gary Lineker should not have shared that.
Yeah, I know. It's disgusting, actually. I mean, it was a rat. I mean, like, that's not only is it immoral, I think it's actually illegal. I think that sort of stuff in this country.
Deep fake porn.
It's such a niche.
It's a bit exists though.
Yeah, I think our standards of that are changing, and I think the appetite and the desire for cancellation, I think, is waning a little bit.
Especially as the gaggle of young MPs now, like the ones in their 20s. If it came out that one of them had posted something about Ollie is gay on Facebook in 2010, people of our generation would be like, well, everyone was kind of doing that. I do not think this man is actually a homophobe. But the older kind of boomer press would be like, I don't want to name out any of them. Young MP is homophobic based on this Facebook status. We have a much more nuanced understanding of kind of the way that we were all using social media at that time, and there's a real generation gap between how, I guess, the generation above us, people who weren't at school, I suppose, with social media, know about it, know what was going on, versus like our generation. We get older and get in positions of power. I think we will probably be a lot more forgiving for sort of like social media cock-ups.
Yeah.
Yes and no.
No?
What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you spend like a bit of time on TikTok, I do think that they are actually over preoccupied with what people were posting on social media. Millennials were posting. You know, I actually do think that you would get cancelled if you had written Ollie is gay in 2012. I think you'd be cancelled.
Well, now?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I really don't think it would.
They go mad
I'm
on it. They like
Teflon.
dox people all the time. Oh, right.
You can't get me. You can't get me. Well, I guess it also means like, you know, what is cancellation? What does it actually mean?
You love this.
I do love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to one certain lunch with one certain editor, and it honestly.
No, because you know,
Brendan O'Neill.
look,
At this Heights lunch.
I'm in my mind palace. Do you know what I mean? And it's very in here right now. Like if anything, there's just a faint humming when either of you speak. I just, you know, the words don't come in. I'm so zen. I'm so centered, and whatever fury is going on around and outside me, it does not penetrate.
You can cut through the noise.
Exactly. No, I think if you don't lose your job, have you been cancelled?
Would you?
I mean, obviously, if you do lose your job, I think,
So has Gary Lineker been cancelled?
well, I think he's quitting.
Well, so look,
Well, it's a self-imposed cancellation.
Oh no, that
Harakiri.
he's martyred himself.
if a politician had done this in the context of what has been in the news cycle for the last couple of years, if a politician did this,
Yeah.
I would actually say it's probably a resigning matter.
Yeah.
I just think a sports personality, I find it ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I think that, because you can judge intention, right? No one wants to do that. Also,
I think intent matters.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm arguing. But also, just with blasphemy law, a
Hello.
lot of the people who are...
Good morning.
Good
12
morning.
pints and half a marathon, Ed. We're doing blasphemy law.
Shaking. I need to look at sport before I do this.
I've got to go and have a meeting in a second as well. So
About
you're really in
blasphemy?
a deep end. Yeah, blasphemy law meeting. Yeah.
Goodness me.
Ava, blasphemy law is what you're saying.
Well, I just wonder, a lot of the people who'd like Gary Lineker to be off the BBC are also the same proponents anti-blasphemy law.
Yeah.
Ed looked like he was about to top himself there.
No, sorry. I was like, my brain is operating so slow. I couldn't, for like a split second, I did not know who you were talking about. I couldn't identify who that group could possibly be.
Both of our mind palaces. There's a low hum.
Why, please
for
don't.
different reasons.
Please don't go. I don't have this in me.
No, you do. You do. Look, I think
What time are you leaving?
now. Yeah, so I'll walk off the set and I'll leave you guys to talk about
Shall we
surrender.
go out in a cloud of vape?
Yeah, please.
It's like stars in their eyes.
Yeah. I tried to talk about this weekend, no one knew what I was
I
talking about.
love
What a
stars
show.
in their eyes.
Yeah, good stuff. There you go. You're
Well,
on to the good
who
stuff.
are you going to be? Do tonight, Matthew. Into a microphone.
Tonight, Matthew, I am going to be Robbie Williams. I don't want to rock DJ.
This is so ridiculous.
Woo!
We're about to enter Discourse Inferno, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Are you feeling sovereign?
Let me ask you, Britain. Are you feeling sovereign? I feel like reform should really get like someone who can do that sort of thing, like a ringmaster. Is that what I mean? Like in a circus.
Yeah.
Is that what that's called? A ringmaster.
I don't know. What were those things called that those girls used to... Grid girls?
Ring girls, grid girls. Imagine like Hugh Jackman in The Greatest Showman at a reform conference.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
What's
Greatest
that thing
Sovereign.
called? Yeah. That's really good.
That's fun. They
The
should,
Sovereign Showman?
yes. The Greatest Sovereign. Yeah, that's really good.
There was some guy wanging on about the fishing again this morning
Really?
on Radio 4.
they're obsessed.
The fishing is very difficult because it affects a very tiny proportion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It also has to be sold back into the EU, a lot of these fish, right? So the EU fishermen, okay, essentially, can I just boil down the fisherman problem?
Yes.
They hate the French.
Right.
And so they don't want the French in their waters.
No.
But they want to sell the fish to the French.
Right.
And so there's this sort of catch
Oh,
22 going on. Anyway, so they were going on. So basically, they've secured this 10-year deal with the fishing, right? That this is part of the EU deal,
Yep.
so that we don't have to keep going back to the table every single year.
the chef's table.
The chef's table. There was a fisherman on doing the broadcast rounds this morning being like, I wanted to renegotiate every year. Why?
Yeah, that seems like a waste of time.
Why? Yeah. You can't plan ahead with where you're going to sell your fish or fish.
In terms of long-term strategy, as a business, that'd be very difficult. If you're trying to like build a fishing business, surely you can't plan
Fishing
within a
empire.
year. A fishing the greatest salmon. If you're trying to, if you're trying to build that and you can't plan more than a year in advance, that would actually be really detrimental to everything about your business, wouldn't it?
Yes. We're so back, by the way, youth mobility scheme.
We need to get that done
Yeah.
soon. We have until October the 3rd,
To get that done.
2026.
2026?
Yes.
Okay, well, you'll probably be all right then.
That's my 30th birthday. So
Yeah, I know.
that's my hard cut
So
off.
you'll probably be allowed to do it.
Yes.
Where are you going to go?
Lisbon.
Right. Because of
It's so
decriminalising
great.
cocaine?
Yeah, sorry, I'm set. the greatest
White bait?
yeah, the greatest bunner or something. Like
What?
I don't know drug lingo.
What do you have on your chicken fillet roll? In Lisbon,
In
cocaine.
Lisbon cocaine. We really need to get, if everyone could get on that quickly. I always tell Sean it's mental that he can live anywhere in Europe and he lives here. I think that's an insane thing to do for him.
Well, I know, but some of us on the team actually like UK politics, and that's why we work here and cover it here.
Yeah, that's not really, he's a content man.
He loves politics, him.
He does.
On the weekend, when we're not working, he sends me stuff.
Really?
Yeah, and I'll be like, what?
Oh, this is kind of apropos of nothing.
Yeah.
I'd like to get your take on Brockwell Park, NIMBY.
That's interesting. Can we finish Brexit and then can we come back to that?
Yes.
Because I'd love to talk about that, actually.
Can we do that? Should we talk about that after fox hunting?
Sure.
Great, admin done.
Okay, so I actually think maybe we'll do a more in-depth Brexit program tomorrow.
probably.
Because I think we're really struggling through this here, let's be honest.
I'm sweating.
And we've got more important matters. Like your fox hunting video.
Yes.
That's gone down well.
It has gone down well. Sorry, should we pay one bit of lip service to
The
Brexit?
Brexit deal.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's still emerging. They've signed it, right? Kemi Badenoch hates it. Who's surprised there? God, do you know something? She is opposition for opposition's
Yes.
sake. Like, Christ alive.
Yeah.
Like, she just gets out of bed and goes, bad. Shut up, man.
Yeah. But I think that's anyone kind of quoting the Leave vote now. They're still playing to the Leave vote of 2019.
Yeah.
Say, whereas like the country's mood has actually shifted
Yeah.
a fair amount. Like not everyone is like a frothing at the mouth anti-EU leaver, like the stereotype. They're like, oh, this is kind of going badly, isn't it? I do feel poorer.
Also, this own laws bollocks. Like, because, like a lot of... If you speak to anyone in the civil service, they will tell you that basically because they had to change shit over very quickly,
Yeah.
they just copy and pasted. They literally copy and pasted.
But it's English copy and paste.
But it's English copy and paste.
English copy and
They
paste.
did Control C and Control V, not Control C and Ube.
Yes. Yeah, but it's and again, Farage says it's surrender. I think that's kind of tired now at this point, isn't it? Like that kind of language about surrendering to the EU.
I think he missed a trick,
Yeah.
I think he should have gone for the 18 to 30 swap scheme.
Well, and he should have supported that.
Yeah.
Mm,
I think he missed a trick there.
is that not immigration?
No, because it's a swap, isn't it?
Yeah, but I guess
I think that what he should have been like, yeah, it's a scheme where you can travel, you can live anywhere, but you are on temporary visa. You can only
it's like
do
Australia.
it.
It's like Australia, I guess. Isn't
Exactly.
It? And they're like there's no real sense opposing. Like there's no political capital to be gained from like opposing Australians coming and living in the UK
Yeah.
because they make such delicious coffees.
Do they?
Australian coffees?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Have you not been to the Australian cafe?
I don't know. I only go in places where like people look non-binary. What?
That's pretty funny. How can you tell?
I don't want straight coffee.
I don't see gender.
Huh?
I don't see gender.
Oh, I do.
Everyone's non-binary to me.
I'm pointing people out.
I just assume non-binary.
Do you?
If I ask you pronouns, it's because I'm assuming they them, and I don't want to offend you.
We'll do a more in-depth Brexit program tomorrow.
Yes, perhaps when I've had some sleep, as well, and not 12 beers.
Nigel Farage has just tweeted that this is the end of the fishing industry.
Is it?
Amazing.
Have you done a report of fishing?
Have I done a report on fishing?
Yes.
Years ago. Maybe I'll go and do one.
You should. Yeah, that'd be cool.
If you have a fishing boat, I'd love to go on it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Get in touch.
Get into or a yacht. Just if you own a boat, we'd like to come on it.
I know I'd like to put on like do you know what? James Watt, the guy who runs Brewdog.
I'm the captain of the I'm the captain of the Brewdog ship.
Didn't they get married just recently on a fishing boat?
Yeah, on his like granddad's fishing boat. He set up British Doge, and he wants to see how the private sector.
Did you see what he's called British Doge? To make it
Corgi. Corgi to make it British.
Yeah.
I'm a punk.
Okay, you be James Watt, I'll be Georgia Toffolo.
Okay. Hello. What are we talking about? Getting married?
Brexit.
I think we. Oh, fuck me. I don't know enough about James Watt's position on Brexit for that to be.
Should we do your fox hunting video
Yes.
but as Georgia Toffolo?
James Watt.
Okay, so James, tell me about your fox hunting video.
So there's this sick guy, a real punk at PoliticsJOE called Ed, and he made a video exploring the violent world of fox hunting in the UK. So if you want to use any of this as clips, this is actually useless.
This is so exciting.
That's really good.
What did he find when he went fox hunting?
So is mine good? I can't tell.
I don't know. You sort of sound like you've been kicked in the head.
So it's bang on.
Yeah.
So no, I have to abandon
I love it.
I have to abandon it.
Okay.
I went out with
Is this still him?
this is me.
Ah.
This is Ed as Ed. Ed on Ed, Campbell on Campbell. I went out with the North London hunt saboteurs, who are the largest group of hunt saboteurs in the country. I wanted to see what kind of motivated people to go out and oppose fox hunting. Fox hunting has been banned in the UK for over 20 years, and the vast majority of people like support the ban being in place. And like there's different degrees of like people's animal activism, I suppose. Like you don't eat meat. Our colleague Izzy is a vegan, but neither of you are getting up on a Saturday morning to go and like stop foxes being killed. Like what is it about these people that motivates them to do it?
Right.
That's what I wanted to achieve. And
Can you talk me through that clip of the guy who believed country folk were a race?
yes, I'm actually going to get my laptop. I've got notes.
Go on then.
Fox hunting has been banned in the UK for over 20 years. What is allowed is an activity called trail hunting, where a hunt will set out a predetermined route using like fox urine that the dogs will chase, and kind of SAB groups across the country say this is a smokescreen, that is the official face of what's happening, but like foxes are still being killed, and there's been cases and evidence of this like ever since the ban came into place. So the clip, I'll show you this clip from the video, which has gone, it's gone pretty viral. I think it's an interesting bit of the video. Should we play that now?
Sure.
I'm trying to get the hunter's perspective on this.
Too late for that, mate.
It's too late. Why?
You racist bastards.
Racist? What's racist?
Do you hate what goes on in the countryside?
I don't understand how that's race related. And also, I'm a journalist.
I don't give a fuck what you are.
Can you tell me how that's race related? I don't know.
I couldn't be asked.
What race is being targeted here?
Well, countryside, for sake.
That's not a race.
We are. It's a culture.
I admit it's culture. I wouldn't say it's a race though.
Well, it's a race.
Okay, I think agree to disagree on the race part. What's happening? What are they doing that proves that they hate this? So, that man is accusing the hunt sabs and people opposing fox hunting as being racist. What do you think? What's your reaction to that when you see that man saying that?
I sort of understood what he was talking about.
Do you?
Well, I think that he's wrong in using racist because it's clearly not racist. But I sort of understand that that's a cultural heritage that city folk rail against, right?
So this is exactly what he would want you to think. There's actually really broad support for the ban on fox hunting, regardless of whether or not you're urban or rural.
Really?
It transcends location.
It's cross-side.
It's cross. Yeah, that's right. You've got people in Dorset and people in London agreeing on something. Like they have.
Really?
It's a minority pursuit. It's not really like. It's definitely like a tradition of a certain group of people, like the landowning class.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like, if you think of like the people in like this country, like the characters there, they're not fox hunting. Like they're also country people. Like they are talking about the culture of like the upper landowning classes as if that is like the experience of all people in the countryside. Like Survation did a poll of people in the countryside, and so 96% of people said they never went hunting with dogs, which is fox hunting. And so like the hunt's argument is that this is
really bloody cruel, isn't it?
Oh, it was vicious. It's horrible. It's also as well like for people who don't know what fox hunting actually is it they set dogs on foxes and rip it apart. These dogs rip it. Like it's not. I kind of initially thought it was like they shot it, which still isn't good, but it's certainly less cruel than.
Well, that would just be like normal meat eating, wouldn't it? Really?
Yes, I guess. Yeah, I think it probably would. Like then you don't eat the fox, so it's actually just killing for sport, I guess. So
I would argue that all meat killing is for sport, but you know, look, we're not going to get into that.
We're not going to. And then in the same poll, 65% of people strongly agreed that observing nature is an activity that reflects the value of the countryside, and that's compared with 4% agreed that hunting with dogs reflects the values of the countryside. So like rural people just do not support fox hunting at all. And
so it's a class thing.
It is a class thing. It is absolutely a class thing. There's an interesting story that came out a few years ago about there's a fox hunting, like a pro fox hunting group called Hunting Kind, and the chair said he'd been advised by a leading human rights lawyer that hunters unequivocally qualify for legal protection under the UK Equality Act 2010.
Yeah,
which is clearly total crap.
Oh.
I think it's like
I thought you were going to be pro that.
but as in what like so the chair of Hunting Kind was like, yeah, fox hunters are going to be afforded the same rights as like Roma people, which is like it's clearly crap.
I don't really understand. I do wonder if you enjoy the concept of a dog ripping apart a fox in front of you.
Mm.
I don't want to be too leading here, but is that not something that like a psychopath enjoys?
I think there's also as well something to be said about the class element in that. Imagine there was like 20 lads from our council estate on quad bikes.
Yeah, well, they don't let you rip them apart anymore.
Or sorry, they were chasing the fox. Like that would be widely condemned.
I think I would be okay with fox hunting if. So there's people on horseback with their dogs that are chasing the foxes, yeah?
Yeah.
But if the people on horseback were being also chased by dogs.
So there's a bigger, more vicious.
Well, then I've got something I can enjoy. Then there's a real blood sport to this. You know what I mean?
It was, and the day itself was like, actually, it was knackering. Like the
Sorry, I just thought about you falling in that ditch.
Yeah, but like you spend like, I think we were out from like 9 till about 5 just running through fields. And Izzy, our colleague, and I were just so ill-equipped for it.
You picked the right person to take as your videographer there.
Izzy.
She's really healthy.
Izzy was, but also we were both wearing like Chelsea boots. Izzy was wearing like an Arsene Wenger style like long raincoat. Like it was like we were so ill-equipped. Everyone else was like, are they the shoes that you're wearing? And we're like, yeah. yep. And Izzy,
what did you think you were going to, like the polo?
I actually didn't really think about it. I was like, I have waterproof boots. And they're like,
you wouldn't think that you were going to be running around, would you actually? Yeah.
If I'd done some research, then maybe I would have done.
But
Why would I do that?
why bother?
Why would I do that? And there was a bit where I was like, they split you into groups, and it's what one group's job initially to set off with the dogs and communicate to the other groups where they're heading towards, so they can be dropped off in a jeep to pick up the chase. So there's a lot of coordination. So when we're back in the van, I was really, really hungry, and I bought a sandwich at the train station. But all these people are like really quite militant vegans, and my sandwich was a chicken and bacon sandwich.
Double homicide.
And I did not eat it. I did not take it in my bag because I was like, I think these people are going to shout at me if I did that.
Do you know what? I think one of my wettest opinions is I really hate meat in supermarket sandwiches.
Why?
Because I don't think that that's how people should be consuming meat. No, seriously, I don't think...
How should it be consumed?
I don't mind people buying like a good chicken on a Sunday, having that like for dinner, and then having that maybe like Monday and Tuesday as leftovers in their sandwiches. I don't think that chickens should die to be in packet sandwiches.
So we're not honouring the chicken by putting it in a sandwich?
I just don't think that you're meant to eat meat 5 days a week, 7 days a week.
Mhm.
And I just think that is it's bad for the climate, it's bad for the animal. Like, I just don't agree with it.
Mhm.
And that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So I really let you down. I let you down. I let the North London Hunt Sabs down.
Yeah. And you love a chicken and bacon sandwich.
Do you know the thing that's like the meme that's like, I consent, I don't, and it's Jesus. That in this image you are Jesus, and someone's trying to eat a chicken and bacon sandwich from Marks and Spencer. So remember, if you're having a meal deal today, Ava does not consent to there being meat in it.
I don't, I'm sorry.
What about like refrigerators?
Yeah, no.
What about
I don't think that that's how people should consume meat.
beef jerky?
Well, I don't know, because you might get like that cow might have lived a really nice life, and then I think that if you're selling meat in, okay, this is where I get really puritanical. I would put a big picture of the animal that was killed to make it on the front of it, and if you can still eat it, then you can have it.
I would really. I don't think that would have any impact.
I'd be like, here's Daisy the cow, and you're eating her ass. What now?
Delicious. Oh no, I'm eating ours. I really don't think that would put people off eating meat.
Well, then good. Keep eating it.
Yeah, I think if you eat meat, which I do, you have
If
to be
you
quite
eat meat, I don't think you're allowed to have an opinion on horse racing.
Disagree.
Why is it bad that a horse gets shot but not a little chicken? That's just a little chicken that is hatched just to be in your sandwich. Why have we gone down this route?
Because we're talking about militant vegans.
Aye. Speaking of which,
Militant vegan. But I think
he's
it's
just a
Starmer.
vegetarian.
Yeah,
isn't
he's just a veggie. He's not going. That's a classic game. He's not going the full hog. I don't. I'm not sure we could have a vegan prime minister.
Why?
I don't think this country would
We're not
buy
ready.
it. I actually don't think we're progressive enough to have a vegan prime minister.
I think we are if they just shut up about it.
But they never do.
They never do.
That's the point.
I mean, look at me. I've just gone on about fucking Daisy the cow eating ass.
And I'm maintaining that I would love to eat Daisy the cow.
Anything else you'd like to say?
I think, yeah, if you enjoyed this discussion, which maybe you did, I think the video's good. I'm proud of it.
I enjoyed the video.
And yeah, that's on the PoliticsJOE YouTube channel. If you finish watching this and then go and watch that.
Well, I think we're about done now, aren't we?
Do you want to have a quick word in Brockwell Park?
Yeah, I do have to go.
Okay.
I've got to do Jeremy Vine.
Oh, no.
But I actually love the Brockwell Park discussion. Should we have it on Wednesday?
Yes. Instead of Prime Minister's question, which is a full hour on.
But this
Brockwell
could actually be good, because you could go onto the Reddit now and you could give us your opinion, and then that might sway the outcome of the programme.
Real audience
Do you
capture.
want to explain what it is?
So Brockwell Park is a park in South London, which over the course of 28 days hosts like 7-day festivals, I think. So things like Mighty Hoopla, which is like a queer festival, Cross the Tracks, Wide Awake, which Kneecap are headlining. And basically some residents caused a big stramash because basically like the park is unusable. Large parts of the park are unusable to residents for this part of the summer, and they argue that there's like ecological damage done to the park. And one resident, whose name is Rebecca Shaman, as in like a spooky shaman sort of thing, I think it's a stage name. She realised that you are allowed to push through planning applications for these things if the park is like 20, if the park is is affected by it for less than 28 days. But she's made the point to somebody that the affording for the build of it, of everything, and all the logistics around it's actually a lot, it's more than that. It's more like
They do shut it down for a long time, don't they?
It's close to like 35 days. So a judge ruled in favour of the Residents Association against the organiser of the festivals. And so they start this weekend. I'm supposed to be going to one. And now that's
they all
confirmed. I think will be confirmed this week.
I'm meant to be going to one too.
Yeah. But it calls into question like the rights of residents to enjoy quiet space versus like Londoners.
I don't
to
agree
have
with
fun.
quiet space.
Quiet space?
No, tough shit. Move out the city if you don't like the noise.
Yeah, actually, I do kind of largely side with you.
But I do understand the state of the park, because I always think about that with Finsbury Park.
Yeah, or
Like-
Victoria Park as well for like all points east.
Well, I was going to say for Finsbury Park specifically, because they do that tough mudder there.
Oh,
And
yeah.
they completely ruin the park. And Finsbury Park is an area where, well, Victoria Park, right, there's still actually a large bit of the park where you can still walk around it. But like Finsbury, the entire thing gets shut down. And it's in an area where there is not a lot of green space and a lot of people live in flats. So I find that pretty distasteful that you can't. That's the whole point, right? That's why a lot of people. That's why, what are they, like barons and earls and shit? They donated the land.
Oh yeah, to hold in trust. By,
Yes. And it was because people didn't have outside space. A lot of, I'm not being funny, around Brockwell Park, people do tend to have quite a lot of outside space. I think I'm okay. The argument I do actually get on board with, people are entitled to have green areas. I do not give a shit about the noise.
Yeah.
Move.
I suppose it's like if you live near Wembley, like would you complain about?
They do.
No, yeah, exactly.
They do.
Yeah, no, I know. Or like the O2, or
They
like
do.
Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Or
Oh
something
my
like
God,
that.
people will literally
Yeah.
move. Like people will move into like that flat that is in Leyton Orient, and they'll be like, "What is this noise?" Like,
Yeah. Let us know what you think about that. Let us know who's in the right here. Young people wanting to have fun, or
should we do a poll on the Reddit?
old nimbies. Can you do polls on Reddit?
I think let's have a look. Let's give it a go.
Let's
and then
see.
the third option will be people should be arrested if they
If they're vegan.
no if they take nuts onto a plane.
Yeah, we're doing that again. That's our secret Patreon episode. Is Ava and I go for 4 hours back and forth on that.
I think people would pay for that.
I think that was actually one of the least functional discussions you and I have ever had. There was no give either way.
And there was no solid argument.
No, it was real vibes based.
It was.
It was just real vibes based.
You were just saying no, and I was just saying yes.
No,
Yeah.
yes. Like Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
Let us know how much you would pay for us to go 4 hours talking about allergens.
If you give us like $1,000 each, we will come to your house and do this. I'm saying that.
That sounds a bit perverted.
Wee bit, yeah, actually. Maybe I take that back. Maybe me and a guest who is yet to be determined.
Oh, just final mention. My dad and my sister sent the most heart-wrenching picture I've ever seen in my life yesterday. Like, oh God, that's showing how sheltered my life has been. Goodison, obviously, last game there yesterday. Oh, I'm actually going to cry thinking about it. They sent a picture from 17 years ago and now, side by side, of my dad and my sister. Oh, Jesus, actually.
That's sweet.
I'll show you. I'm not showing these
No,
parts.
absolutely not.
But you can make sound effects if you like,
Me? Oh.
if the mood takes you.
Oh. That's really sweet. Did you see the Crystal Palace tifo thing?
Teeth.
Tifo.
Tifo.
Did you see the thing of like at Wembley?
The Tifo.
You know when like football fans do like the big signs as they be like cartoon thing?
Is that called Tifo?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But there was one on Crystal Palace did one on Saturday at the Epic Cup final of like it was quite a famous image of like it's like a dad with his two sons from like 15 years ago, and the two sons were at the game and the dad died like 6 years ago.
I can't cope with that.
It
Can
was
you not?
it's actually like
I
it was
cannot cope with that.
so lovely. Like and the guy he's a guy called I think it's Jake Warren.
I'm actually going to start crying. I
who,
really don't like that.
He took a photo of the two boys like cuddling. It's
Oh.
absolutely insane. In football stuff, mental.
Yeah.
I think there is something, when people are always like, oh my God, you're crying because or not, you're crying, we're all celebrating a millionaire scoring a goal. Like, some of the most emotional moments I've had with my dad have been like football related
Yeah.
as well. And like you and your family. I think anyone who is like condescending about sport as like an emotional bond just doesn't get it. And you actually should be in prison for that.
You should be in
You
prison.
should absolutely be in prison. That's my
Nice one.
litigious take.
See you on the Reddit.
Yeah, bye everybody.